Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I am doing my birthday book haul. Some of you might notice that the setup is a little different today. I'm standing so that after I do this I can reorganize my bookshelves. I am at a point where I'm probably gonna need a third one pretty soon. So yeah. Before I get to the books that I got for my birthday, I do want to briefly mention the books that I got for Christmas. There's only a few of them, so that's not going to take too long. The first two books that I got for Christmas were from my sister. The first one is Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. I've been wanting to read this for a really long time. I also have the audiobook because that is my favorite way to listen to biographies and memoirs, so hopefully I can get to this soon. I feel like I've said that probably like a million times, but 2021 is the year. I'm gonna work on my physical TBR, so I will be getting to this at some point this year. Pretty self-explanatory. This is about his childhood growing up in South Africa and everything going on at the time, so I think it'll be not only good entertainment-wise because Trevor Noah is hilarious, but also pretty informative. The next book is Upon a Burning Throne. I mentioned this in my 5-star prediction video. I got this solely off of recommendation from Starla Reads. She really enjoyed this book, and the way she described it just made me really want to read it. So hopefully I will get to it soon. I won't say too much about it because I did already mention in other videos. So if you want to know more of what this is about, I would recommend that you check out that video. The sequel to this also comes out in April, which is a lot sooner than I expected. So hopefully I can get to it before then. The next book technically wasn't a Christmas gift, but it did come a little after New Year's. The author of Trading Secrets, Rachel Eccles, was nice enough to send me a copy in the new cover. I don't know what it is about this color combination, but I really like it. One thing that I forgot to mention in my review is that this book includes a table of contents, which I feel like no books do anymore. I don't know why, but I really enjoy that. And book 2 comes out on June 29th, and I absolutely will be reading and reviewing because I love this one so much. If you don't already know, I do have a full review of this, so I will link it in the cards and the description below. But in this, we follow Celeste Donovan, who is a high roller on Wall Street, and she receives news that her boyfriend has been killed in a plane crash. None of the details of this accident are making sense, so she's trying to figure out what really happened, and it turns out that her crazy ex-boyfriend is behind it. So obviously, she sets out for revenge. A lot of twists and turns along the way. I always equate this to a Lifetime movie because that's how like insane some of the events are, but it is so entertaining and so good. Highly recommend. The last 2 books that I got for Christmas were gifts from my boyfriend. I did not tell him what kinds of books that I wanted, and I just said books, which was my fault. So one of the books he had to take back because it was like number 5 in a series, but the other 2 actually sound kind of good. They're probably gonna sound weird, but first one is called Girl in Trouble. This one is about some sort of kidnapping. As per usual, I didn't read the synopsis, so that's all I know. The other book is called The Chestnut Man, which is about a serial killer, and you're probably like, why are those the books that he got you? I have been rewatching Criminal Minds. I'm on season 8 now, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what that says about me, but I felt like these were pretty fitting. Okay, so on to the books that I got for my birthday. Most of these I bought, some of them were gifts. There are 13 of them, but I'm gonna try to run through them pretty quickly. The first one is A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. I really enjoyed When No One Is Watching, so I decided that I was going to give her romance novels a try. I know that she's actually a romance author and that When No One Is Watching was her first thriller novel, but I really liked it, and I'm still trying to figure out the whole which romance novels I actually like, so I think that I might like hers, maybe, possibly, I don't know. I don't actually know what this is about. I just know that it's the first book in her Reluctant Royal series, so we'll see how it goes. Hello, editing me. I forgot to mention that A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole was gifted to me by my friend Taylor. She actually came to the city to go book shopping with me, and I somehow forgot to mention that in the midst of trying to explain my feelings on romance novels. It just got lost. So thank you again, Taylor, just making sure that I acknowledge you. The next book is We Hunt the Flame. I don't know what this is about. I know that I read the synopsis at some point and it sounded really good. I also just really wanted to support this author because she has another book or another series coming out, and people for some reason are acting like Leigh Bardugo invented the heist trope, which she didn't. And basically everyone's reading the synopsis of her book and saying, oh, so it's like Six of Crows but with tea or something stupid. So support BIPOC authors. White people didn't invent everything. Just throwing that out there because apparently it needs to be said. Yeah, I don't remember what this was about. She's a hunter disguising herself as a man. There's someone called the Prince of Death. I don't care. I'm gonna read it. The next book is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I picked this up off of recommendation from Camilla over at Burrows and Books. She talked about it in one of her recent videos and it just sounded really good, so I got it. There's another book that I got off her recommendation as well. We'll get to it when I find it. I think in this world, death like doesn't exist. Like there's no sickness or anything, so there are scythes that go and kill people when it's their time as a means of population control, I think, maybe. As always, if I'm wrong, don't tell me. I'll figure it out when I read it. The next book is Jade City by Fonda Lee. Side note, I realized that the Barnes & Noble in my city is not as great as I thought it was. It's awesome because it's 3 stories and has the cafe and all of that, but it does not have as many popular books as it should. Like, I was able to find Jade City, could not find Jade War. Don't know what that was about. I also couldn't find Legendborn, which is one that I really wanted, and there were a few others that just weren't there. So in this book, it's sort of like there's these rival mobs, I guess you would describe them as, and they're trying to gain control over the city, because if you control the city, you have control over the jade, and the jade gives you special powers, makes you stronger, makes you better, something like that. I've heard the first book is pretty action-packed, and the second one has more of the political intrigue. Either way, I'm really excited to read it. And Jade Legacy, which I think is the finale to the trilogy, comes out later this year, so I do need to find Jade War at some point. The next is a gift from my friend Denise, and it is My Own Words by RBG. I'm really excited to read this just because I'd love to know more about her. She's such an iconic figure, and I'm actually taking a law class right now. It probably won't correlate to this because the class is essentially higher education law, but I still think that reading this while I'm taking that course and learning sort of the basics of the law will be interesting. We'll be reading this sometime soon for sure. The next book, also from my friend Denise, is Slay by Brittany Morris. I thought this was middle grade, but it might be YA. Yeah, she's 17, so that would be YA. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know much about this, but Black Girl Magic on the cover, and I've heard it's really good, so we'll just leave it at that. Can you tell that I really don't pay attention to what books are about? Honestly, this is what happens. This is my process. I watch other booktube videos. I watch people talk about their favorites and recommendations for certain genres and whatever, and I just go off of that. I listen to what that person says at that time and how they explain it, and then I just add it to my want to read list or add it to my wish list, and it's just how it goes. The next book on this list is Cinderella is Dead. I'm super behind the curve on this one. But again, my Barnes & Noble isn't great. This was harder to find than I expected it to be. I know if this author has another book coming out later this year, so this will kind of be my test to see if I like her writing. From what I know, the main character in this is a descendant of Cinderella. This is like after Cinderella is gone though. And there's some sort of, it's like a ball where basically these young girls are being shown off for men to choose their bride or some dumb shit. Anyway, queer rep, Black Girl Magic. I'm pretty sure it'll be good. The next 2 books were sent to me by my friend Dasha at Mythic Pages. The first one is Hood Feminism. I am very excited to read this. So many people have like crazy misconceptions about feminism, and it's tiring, to be honest. It is tiring. And this one specifically says notes for the women that the movement forgot, because let's be real, the first wave of the feminist movement was for white women. So I'm looking forward to this. The next book that Dasha got me is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I am super interested in reading more indigenous work. I read Alatswe by Darcy Little Badger last year and I really, really loved it. I heard this one is super fucking creepy and I like that. So I'm really excited to read this. I kind of want to wait until it's like spooky season to read, but I might just end up reading it sooner. I think I also have a hold for this on Libby, so I might just read it whenever that hold becomes available, because you know Libby just likes to screw up your TBR at a moment's notice. So the next book that I have is one that I've wanted for a very, very long time. It is Raybearer by Jordan E. Fuego. I cannot wait to read this. First of all, the cover is absolutely beautiful, but then if you take off the dust jacket, it's still beautiful. I can't wait. So from what I know about this, our main character has been tasked with becoming close to the crown prince gaining his trust and entering his inner circle, but once she gets close to him, she's supposed to kill him. But as she gets closer to him, she sort of falls into this sort of found family, and I think that's something that she's wanted for a really long time because she's been raised by this mysterious being known as the Lady, and I believe this is a series, so I'm assuming that she does not kill the prince like she's supposed to, and she's probably going to rebel against the Lady. Don't know what's gonna happen when she does that, but I'm sure it's gonna be good. So the next two books have created a little bit of a dilemma for me. I got The Dragon Republic and The Burning God, right? Which, like, great. The covers at Barnes & Noble were these ones, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought these were the UK editions. Yes? No? I don't know. Because when I got the Poppy War, I'll get that later, I got this guy, right? So on my wish list, I had the Dragon Republic in the blue cover that looks like this, but I haven't seen the Burning God in a paperback cover. I guess what I'm gonna do is read this and then gift it to somebody and get the Poppy War in these covers so that they can match. My covers need to match. Y'all know this. But yeah, I mean, unless somebody knows where to get the Burning God, I mean, it's probably not even paperback yet, but I haven't even like seen a color, like a colorful cover. I've only seen the white ones, and I'm a little upset about it, you know, but whatever. The last book that I got is The Night Swim. This is the second book that I got off of Camilla's recommendation. Thanks. I think I listened to her explain what it was about. Do I remember? No. Did I read the synopsis when I bought it? No. Am I gonna read it now? No. No one should be surprised at this point. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Editing me here again because apparently I haven't filmed in so long that I just don't remember how to do it. I do also have 3 additional books. I don't have them physically yet, but my boyfriend did give me another 3 books for my birthday. They are Clappin' You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, and My Pretty Wife. He specifically asked me to send him books that I wanted this time. We learned our lesson, and I got a very specific cover of Clappin' You Land because I liked the newer cover better than the old one. So those are all of the books that I got for Christmas and for my birthday. If you watch my video where I discuss my 2021 reading plans, then you know that I will not be buying anything else, at least for a while. I think I'm gonna try to keep that up till like June, maybe. That doesn't include pre-orders though. I have pre-orders coming. Ooh, wait. I think Gilded Ones comes out soon. Gilded Ones, Act Your Age, Eve Brown, Rule of Wolves. Yeah, that might be it for now, but yeah, I'm not gonna buy anything else. Unless I can find like Legendborn and whatever other books I had on my list that I couldn't freaking find. But yeah, for now, that's it. I might go back to using my TBR jar at some point. I'm still not really over my September TBR and how betrayed I felt that month, but we'll figure something out. Let me know if you have read any of these books or if you plan on reading them and you want a buddy read, let me know. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.